roughly a $10 million training. $10 million training. It can be applied to every single aspect of your entire life, not just this company. Your relationship, your spirituality, your finances, relationships with family, significant other, every single aspect. If anything, just pay particular attention to these next 20 minutes. And if you absorb it all in, it'll change if you want it to. But you gotta let it come in, you gotta absorb it. We all know that we want to go somewhere. We all want to go somewhere with this opportunity. We all have different goals. We all have different aspirations of things we want to accomplish, people we want to help, things we want to do, things we want to have. And all of those are different for all of us, right? They're all different. But the one thing that we have to share is we all have to know what we want. We have to have those goals set. We have to have that vision. Because without that, we'll never achieve that. You won't wake up every single day asking yourself what I'm going to do today to get one step closer to that, right? So for a quick second, I just need all of you to close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. And I want you to imagine for a second that you are a 5-star ambassador with LaSalle's. You have an average income, $70,000 a month. You can afford anything. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can help anybody you want to help. Take a second, imagine it. It took you 3 years to go 5-star ambassador. 3 years. You made it. The most important thing that I want you to visualize is the things you would do once you got there. Go ahead and open your eyes. Now I need all of you to do me a huge favor. If you've got a pen and paper, go ahead and get that out. And I want absolutely 100% participation in this. If you're being stubborn and thinking you're too good for it, you only cost yourself $1 million training. It's no big deal. You're hurting yourself, not us. If you need a piece of paper, raise your hand. If you need a pen, raise your hand. We're going to make 3 separate columns. For the first column, I want you to title it, Where Would You Go? Where would you go? We're going to take roughly about 60 to 90 seconds, and I want you just to start writing. You're a 5-star ambassador. You make $70,000 a month minimum. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? Take a minute. Just keep on writing, you guys. Nothing is limited. Anywhere in the entire world you want to go. Write it down. Maybe Bora Bora. Maybe Fiji. Alaska. Bali. Maybe you want to go to Rome. Maybe you want to see the Colosseum. Maybe you want to go to France. Keep writing, guys. Name out a few. Name a few off your list. Hawaii.
Ibiza.
Alaska.
Ibiza.
Italy. Australia. On a cruise. Laura, where do you want to go? Home. Randy, where do you want to go? Canada. Tyler? Athens? Last 10 seconds, guys. Keep on writing. Anywhere in the entire world, where would you go? Second column. Draw a line all the way across the page. In my eyes, the most important column. Who would you help? You're a 5-star ambassador. Finances is not a problem for you. You can help anyone that you want. Who would you help? Maybe it's mom. What would you do for mom? Maybe it's dad or grandma. brother or sister. I want you to switch gears for a second and think of charities or research projects that would help. Maybe cancer, maybe diabetes, Alzheimer's, orphanages. Keep writing, guys. Take a few seconds and name a few off your list. Who would you help, you guys? Carolyn, who would you help?
Parents.
Parents. Chase, who would you help?
Little brother.
Little brother. Children. Lisa, who would you help?
My parents in church.
Parents. Joyce, who would you help? Anybody in our home? So the biggest one in here. Why don't you draw one more line? This category is what would you have? The materialistic things that you would have, the possessions. What would you have? What kind of house would you have? What kind of car would you be driving? Tyler, what kind of car are you gonna have?
Every video.
Anybody gonna have a boat? You have a boat. Let me rephrase that, not a boat, a ship at that stage. You have a ship. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge fan of having people that'll do things for me. Maybe your own personal chef. You know, bad idea. Maybe someone will come clean the house for you. Come mow your grass. Just take a couple of seconds and name off the things you would have. Don, what would you have?
Audio R8.
Audio, all right. Beth, what would you have?
A dining room big enough to fit my whole family.
Dining room big enough for the whole family. Angie, what would you have?
House.
House. Stephanie, what would you have?
Multiple houses.
Multiple houses.
Blacktop driveway.
Blacktop driveway. If
Mm.
you seen her driveway, you would know why.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tractor with a cab.
Tractor with a cab. Tell her she's from.
A house without a septic system.
House without a septic system. Because you're really digging deep in these.
I got a personal massager.
Yes, personal massager. I tell you, I already got one, and it's great. She's sitting in the back of the room.
I do too.
Randy does too. It's a joint custody thing we got going on.
No legal battle.
All right, guys, circle 1 or 2 or 3 from each category, and just do me a favor and just share. Take 30 seconds and just share them with your neighbor. Just circle 1 or 2 from each category, and take roughly 30 seconds and just share it with your neighbor. Seconds left. 5 seconds. Let the music. All right, guys. Now I want you to do me a huge favor, and I want you to write down what you think the problem is. Identify the problem. Why are you not yet where you want to be with this opportunity? Why do you yet not have some of the things that you wrote down on that list? Identify what you think the problem is.
That's a chapter.
I'll teach you how simple it is. What's scary is I've seen about half of you write down your problem quicker than you did places you wanted to go. That's the first big problem, right? You were quicker to identify the problem and why you're not where you want to be than you were to write down anywhere in the entire world that you wanted to go. No limitations. You know, it's scary. So you came all the way here for me to basically tell you whatever you wrote down on your piece of paper is not your problem. And the only acceptable answer I will give pretty much everyone in this room is that you just haven't been involved in the company long enough yet. Right? That's the only acceptable answer that I will allow. Other than that, the problem you wrote down is not your problem. It's not. You came all the way here for me to tell you that your problem's not your problem. Basically, you know. The problem is internal. The problem is up here. That's the problem. For example, why is it that Sherry and Dean can have over 100 customers on the challenge, but Julie's can personally have almost 50 customers on the challenge, and some people can barely get their product for free? Why is that? Why is it that some people hit Rising Star Director in their first 7 days or their first 30 days, but some people are in the business 6 months, 8 months, a year, and they haven't even had any director? Why is that? I've heard it must be the products, right? It must be the products. If the shake came in a ready-to-drink format, I would be regional director. I would already earn my BMW if they came ready to drink instead of in powder form, right? If those darn goes weren't so hard to open, I would already be a regional director. Or if the neuro wasn't so hard to open, I would already be there. It must be the compensation plan, right? It must be the compensation plan. It must be the way that the compensation plan is set up. If BMW was only $12,000 instead of $12,500, I would already have my car. Or if it was a 70-30 split instead of a 60-40 split, I would already have my car. You see, where I'm going at with this is every single one of us in the room has the same products, right? 5-star ambassadors don't have any different products or any advantage with the products or the compensation plan we do. So therefore, what's the only variable? It's us. It's you. Each and every one of us. You know, so we all come into this with equal opportunity, level playing field. So the problem is everyone make it feel go with the fingers. Slowly bring it right here, close to your face. Close to your face. Right here lies the problem. Between these two 6 inches right there. That's the problem. And forgive me if I lose track, I haven't done this training in a year, so I got a few notes, but so your problem is internal, not external. Whatever you wrote down, scratch that idea, that's not your problem. I'm about to tell you what your problem is. Raise your hand if you are if you just recently got out of a major life crisis or event or major life drama. Raise your hand if you just got out of something. Raise your hand if you're currently going through something like that or in a situation like that. For the individuals that didn't raise your hand, it's right around the corner. Just wait, you know, that's called life, right? That's life. Right around the corner. If you just didn't get out of it, if you're not in right now, it's coming. I promise you that, it always does. So, what's most important is that it's not the problem. We all have those certain things happen to us. We've all been in the financial rut, right? Your financial rut is no different than someone else's financial rut. Your family member, passing away is no different than another family member passing away to someone else. We all are experiencing the same external problems. The variable is how we react to that problem. The variable is how we perceive the situation that you're currently in right now. That's the difference. That's the variability. You know, so it's simple. It's not how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you can get back up, right? You guys have all heard it. So, for example, I can take every single person's situation that they're going through right now and just got out of, and I can show you an ambassador in this company that was tenfold that problem. Tenfold, right? What was their difference? They made that decision to change, that their back was up against the wall, they only had one direction to go, right? That's the difference. Jeremy Gilchrist, 5-star ambassador. All the man owned to his name was a blow-up Coleman air mattress. That's it. A blow-up Coleman air mattress. Would sleep in the bottom, the basement of his parents' house. The man would sneak into the Dollar Theater back door, would get a bag of popcorn out of the trash, take it up to the concession and say he knocked it over to get a refill. Tell me that ain't a problem, right? Now he's a 5-star ambassador, he makes $100,000 a month. What a difference, you know, what a change. You know, so we've all had to overcome significant adversity, right? We've all had to do it. And what you have to come to terms is, what separates us all is we have to be committed to grow. Something very in particular up here that I'm about to teach you. Is that if you're committed to improve this, then the situation that you're in, or everything you go through from here on out, will be a lot better. You'll perceive it a lot differently than what you've ever had. You know, and anyone ever heard this phrase? The mind is like a tree. If it's not growing, you're dying. Trees are either growing or what? They're dying. There's no in between. Growing or dying. Same with your mind. If you're not growing your mind every single day, guess what? You're dying. You know, you're not getting smarter, you're getting dumber. Unfortunately. Be real with yourself. Are you growing every single day? If not, you're going a step in reverse from where you want to go. Right? So, what I'm talking about with the internal, the problem is not external, it's internal, is it's all set up around the system of your beliefs. Right? Would everyone agree with me that what you believe in determines what you do, and what you do determines what you get? Is that fair? Beliefs determines actions, actions determines results. That's fair, we're all in agreement on that. So what you believe in determines what you do, and what you do determines what you get. So if your beliefs determines your actions, actions determines your results, the question that ought to keep you up late at night asking is, what determines your beliefs? If your beliefs determines your actions, and actions determine your results, what determines your beliefs? What determines what you believe in? Right? So that's the $1 million question. In this case, it's basically, first let's understand what a belief is. What is a belief? It's a feeling of absolute certainty. A feeling of absolute certainty. It's not being absolute certain. It's a feeling of absolute certainty. And if you're not following me on this, I'll paint a very good example. How many of you have ever been in an argument with your significant other? And you were absolutely 100% positively right. And your significant other was absolutely 100% positively right. Which one of you were right? You both were. Right answer. You both were. Because that was your feeling of absolute certainty. You both had different feelings of certainty. It's not one of you were wrong and one of you were right, just because you have different beliefs. So what determines your beliefs is references. References determine your beliefs. References, references, references. What is references? So references is little itty-bitty files, basically, that you have been developing since you were 1 year old, since the mind could start to process things. Those are what references are. And going back to a Shakespeare quote that I forgot to mention, you might want to write this down. This is one of my favorite quotes from Shakespeare. Nothing in life has meaning except the meaning we choose to give it. Nothing in life has meaning except the meaning we choose to give it. been stuck at a red light, you're in a hurry, you're running late to work, you catch every red light, right? Anyone experience this? You get really upset. You get angry. God, every red light, I'm running late. It happens to all of us. What the difference is between some of us get really upset at that red light because we're already running late. That's going to make us even more late. Other of us are grateful that red light happened because it prevented us from a certain circumstance maybe that was about to happen. Maybe that red light prevented us from an accident that was going to happen around the road. See, not many of us are wired to think like that. We just get upset. When really the reality of it is, maybe we should have left 5 minutes early from the house. Right? But we want to blame on the red light and get angry at that. So that's the differences between the way some people are wired and the way some people aren't. So that's a good example of the Shakespeare quote. When something happens, it doesn't mean anything until the meaning you choose to give it. Honestly. So going back to our beliefs. Our belief is just this a batch of similar thoughts. It's a feeling of absolute certainty, from a bunch of different references that are similar to each other. And if you've ever met anyone new, this is one of the better examples I can give of this. If you've ever met anyone new, say you meet Bob. Say you're right across the street, Walmart, you meet Bob. And Bob's just extremely nice guy. Right? He's just super duper nice. He had a smile, that bright up the dark room, and he complimented you. He said how awesome your smile was. Bob's just a nice guy. You run into Bob 2 weeks later at Walmart. What do you immediately think of? How nice of a guy Bob was. Well, guess what? Bob's extremely nice to you again. Extremely, extremely, extremely nice. You're like, man, this Bob, he's got to be the nicest and greatest guy in the world, right? Do you think the world of Bob just because of the first couple references that you ran into? Those batch of similar thoughts. You store those off into a little file over here, the Bob file. Every time you see Bob or think of Bob, he's an extremely nice guy. And then you meet Stu. And Stu is just a jerk. He snarls at you, closes the door, doesn't even hold it for you. And all that's going through your mind is how big of a jerk Stu is. Just this complete rude guy. Run into Stu 2 weeks later. Same scenario. I don't have to go through it all. Every time you see Stu, every time someone talks about Stu, your immediate thought is how horrible and rude of a guy Stu is. All based upon a few references. A batch of similar thoughts that were stored away in the Stu folder. So with that, basically, this is why your belief systems are very closely to the people that raised you. Right? This is why your belief systems are very close to the people that raised you. Almost identical. Like almost identical. So your brain does this for everything in life. The negative things, the positive things, your teachers, your parents, the ones that raised you, family members, all of these people have an impact on the references that you were taught since you were 1 year old. Every single one. And not only does this doesn't only apply to your finances, right? Which is obviously what we're talking about today because we're involved in opportunity. But it's your health, it's your relationships, it's your, prosperity, your finances, your spirituality, everything. This can be applied to everything, So where you are in this company or where you're going to go all comes down to 2 very simple beliefs. Your belief in entrepreneurship as a whole. To be more specific, your belief in this company and what it can do for people. Secondly, your belief in yourself. That is it. Your belief in this company and its products and what it can do for people, and your belief in yourself. Let's dig into those files and we'll see if we were all raised up the same way. Right? This should be fun. I want you to fill in the blank. I need full participation. Where to start? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. You all need to go to
School.
and get really good
Jobs.
grades, so you can go to college and get a good, that'll take care of you for the rest of your life. Wow. This is a good one, this opportunity. Oh, you're doing one of those,
Thanks.
Pyramid thing.
one of those pyramid things. So it sounds like we were all brought up the same way, right? And before you go crazy on your parents or your family or your school teachers or whatever, don't be mad at them. It's not their fault, right? It's not their fault. They were simply passed on this whole reference and beliefs the same way that they passed it on. They know no better. So don't be mad at them. The good news is now you're aware of it. You're aware that this exists, and you can be the final end of it for your entire generation from here on out. From here on out, you can put a stop to that, right? So, in one way, as Scott Snyder, that's my neighbor and other business partner, he says, I'm screwing up my son's hard drive. That's how he refers to it. Anytime he catches himself doing this, he says, I'm screwing up my son's hard drive. Yeah, you are screwing up your son's hard drive, right? So don't be mad at your parents. It was simply passed down to them. The biggest thing I need you guys to understand is you gotta protect those files. Your beliefs are already created. Doesn't mean you can't change them. You can, but it's not going to happen overnight, right? It's not going to happen overnight. But if you had a filing cabinet over here and it had your most important documents, tax information, 1099, salary, birth certificates, social security cards, whatever, had your most important and vital documents, would you protect it? Yeah, right? You would protect it. Would you let someone come and just pour gasoline on it and light up a match? Would you let someone come and pour Coke all over it? No, you wouldn't. So why do you let negative people do that with the references and the files you got up here? No good. If you had all those documents on your computer, on your hard drive, would you let someone just install a virus that wiped all that stuff out and encrypt it, decrypt it? No, you wouldn't do that. Same thing up here. It's no different than that. No different than that. You guys got to protect those files. Here, turn to your neighbor and say, protect your files. Turn to your neighbor and say, don't let anybody poop in your files. There you go. So would everyone agree with me that it's proven, it is proven, whether you believe in with me or not, that what you continually think about, you will eventually become or eventually get. What you continually think about, you will eventually become or get. Right? And the law of attraction. If you already know of it, awesome. If not, go learn all about it. Law of attraction. What you continually think about, you will eventually become or get. Here's another one. Just pop in the line. Everyone heard this? So this is going along with what you continually think about. The rich just keep getting richer. Wow. We've all had that one. Maybe it's because the rich keep getting richer because they're focused and continually think about how they can invest into other things to make more money. When we're continually think about what bill is going to show up in that bill box next week. You continually think about that bill, it's going to be there. And I'm not saying if you don't think about it, it's not going to. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But your focus is going to be on something to improve that situation, not on just how horrible that situation is, right? So this person is so successful because he's just lucky. The L word. It's funny how the harder you work, the luckier you get, right? It's funny how that happens. The harder you work, the luckier you get. So write this down. This is probably the other most important thing I can say. Also, this is Albert Einstein, in case you know. This is huge. The level of thinking that has gotten us to where we are today will not get us to where we want to be. The level of thinking that has gotten us to where we are today will not get us to where we want to be. If you got your list in front of you of the places you would go, the people you would help, and the things you have, look at it for a second. How many of you are 100% committed to having that life right there on paper? For yourself, for your family? 100% committed. It's almost everybody in the room. It's good. Almost. For the others, it's fine. For those individuals that are 100% committed, the one thing you gotta know is where your mind's at right now is not the level it needs to be at to where you will go. If it was, you'd already be there. If it was, you'd already be there, right? There's 5-star ambassadors that broke in 90 days. You know, their level of thinking is much higher than ours. Lori Petrelli, our royal ambassador, broke an ambassador in 14 days. What took me 11 months, she did in 2 weeks. You know, she's been doing this 20 years. She's a professional. She's got the mindset. Clearly, we're not on that level yet, or else we would be where we want to be. You know, so the level of thinking that you're at will not get you the things you wrote down on that list. So you're committed to grow. That's awesome. For those of you who are not committed to grow, a little more time to think over your list. You know, you've got to make that commitment before you're ever going to go, you know, remotely close to that. I can tell you why I'm not a 5-star ambassador. Because my level of thinking is not where it needs to be to 5-star ambassador status yet. It's simple. I'm at a 1-star ambassador thinking. I'm at a 1-star ambassador mindset. If I was higher, I'd be higher. You know, there's no in between. And that's okay, because I'm 100% committed to grow, as many of you are in this room. The other thing that, this goes to the belief in yourself, right? Not necessarily the belief in the company, the product, and what it can do for people, but the belief in yourself. I can tell you that every single ambassador in the company, they laid in bed at night saying they're going to go ambassador. They said, I'm going to be ambassador. I'm going to go ambassador. They woke up in the morning saying, I'm going to go ambassador. I'm going to do it for myself. I'm going to do it for my family. I'm going to do it for my team. I can honestly say that I was one of those individuals. And speaking to many others, they spoke like that too. Right? I can promise you that they did not lay in bed at night saying, I will never be an ambassador. I'll never be. You know, I'm not cut out for this. Oh, some people are just lucky. You know, I don't know if I can really do it. And I don't know if I have what it takes. Maybe my friends were right. Maybe I wouldn't be no good at this. Right? Ambassadors don't think like that. So if you ever catch yourself thinking like that, you can stop. Because is that thinking getting you anywhere closer to where you want to go? No, that's simple. Right? It is that simple. You know, so that's the folder right there inside of how you perceive you. That's that folder. I'm not cut out for this. I don't have what it takes. I'll never get there. That's how you see you. And that's not only with a financial opportunity. That's with your relationships. That's with your relationship with God. That's with every single thing. It's not just, that's how you see you in every aspect of your life. Every category. Not just this one. If you catch yourself doing that, that's an immediate thing. You need to filter. You need to get a filter and you need to filter that out. Now, whether maybe you need to make a commitment or a pact with someone that says, hey, if you ever hear me saying something like this or speaking like this, just say, change your filter. You need to change your filter. Right? Nick and Ashley Sarncola, co-founders of the company. That's what they do. Anytime Nick is talking like that, or thinking like that, or Ashley is, no matter what the scenario, how edgy it might be, you know, how it might push the other one across the edge, they say you need to change your filter. And that's just code word for I'm completely thinking the opposite of where I want to go. You need to make that pact with somebody to it. It'll help you in a lot of cases. You know, so that's how you see you, change it, filter it. Going back to your references really quick, and I'm going to finish this up. Going back to your references control your beliefs. So your references is what makes up your beliefs determines your actions determines your results. And here's one of the most interesting talks of the entire day. One of the most interesting talks of the entire day. This is science talk. Your brain will attract, it'll pick up on, it'll notice the things that harmonize with the references that are already there. I know it's deep. Notice deep. Your brain, what you notice, what you pick up on in your environment, it's all geared around what harmonizes with what's already up there. For example, the science talk. Let me read this. At any given second, every second, every second, every second, every second, every second, there's 1.5 million bits of information happening right now. 1.5 million bits of information. Guess how much of that we pick up? 137 bits. Our brain is only capable of picking up on 137 bits of information every second, even though there's 1.5 million bits of information going on every single second. That's it. So your brain lets in 137. So 99.999% is filtered out. Going back to that question. What determines what your brain filters out and doesn't filter out? What determines what your brain picks up on and notices and doesn't pick up on and notice? Right? Some of you may notice of who's wearing a hat in the room. You know, you may have noticed on that. Or you may have noticed on who's wearing a wedding ring and who's not. Who's wearing a watch and who's not wearing a watch. Those are things some of you might have picked up on. But unless you didn't have something up here to reference it, you would never pick up on it, right? So we're all missing 99.99% of the things that's happening around us. In fact, there's a different training going on for every single one of you right now. There's a different training going on for every single one of you up here. Some of you are really glad you came. You're excited, you learned a lot. The others are saying it's extremely hot here and I can't wait to leave, right? We've all got different training going on, you know, based upon our references and what harmonizes with what's already up there. So the biggest thing is, what does my brain determine to let in? It harmonizes with what your references are. For example, has anyone ever bought a new car? It doesn't have to be brand new, just got a new car. Just a car. And within the first 30 days of driving around your new car that you just got, you started to see that make and model everywhere you went. Really good example is obviously black BMW. I've never seen black BMW before I got one. Never. Now I see them everywhere. Right? Or maybe you just got a Ford truck or a Chevy or a Honda or a Toyota car, whatever. You start seeing that make and model car everywhere. There's two scenarios here. Scenario number one, that car was already there to begin with. It was prior. It was already there. It's been around you. Or scenario number two, the general manager of the lot you bought it off of radioed in and said, time to release all the cars. Like, really? Like, which one's more, which one's more likely? Those cars were already there prior to you making that purchase. What changed? You had a reference. You had a reference now that you drove a blue Toyota, black BMW. Now every time you see that, you have a reference and your brain picks up on it and harmonizes it. Point of that. Financial success. Financial opportunities. Health. Healthy relationships. It's been around you your entire life. It's always surrounding you. You don't have the references to notice it. You don't have the references to pick up on it. Completely not. Those cars that always been there, didn't have the reference to pick up on it until you got one. Financial success, healthy relationships, improvement in health, losing weight, those opportunities have been around you your entire life. You didn't have the references to pick up on. You didn't have the references to take action on, even notice it. And that's, so you have to change your references. And I'm not saying you're never going to have a down moment. You're never going to have drama in your life or negativity, right? I'm not saying that. It's not happy, clappy win, right? It's not. Life comes. But it doesn't have a meaning until the meaning you get. You change your references, you change your beliefs. You're going to assign whatever comes your way a lot different meaning than what you currently have in the past. Right? So, going back to, so now you can recognize it. You can recognize it, you can filter it out, you can make that pact with someone to tell you to change your filter at any kind of time. Here's the reason why you don't make it in this industry. We already went over it. You don't believe in entrepreneurship of this company as a whole, or you don't believe in yourself. And this is what I wanted to share with you as well. Because ever since you were a little kid, okay, I'm talking a little 5 years old maybe, all the way up to the point until you're 17, 18 years old. All the way up to that point. Ever since you're a little kid, you've been told that you're stupid, you're dumb, you couldn't do this. You won't ever, anyone have that dream they want to play professional sports? Oh, you better choose something different. Only less than 1% of athletes ever make it to the professional level. You might want to focus on getting a good degree. Don't focus on that. We hear no, we can't. By the time you're 17 years old, you hear no, you can't an average of 150,000 times. No, you can't 150,000 times. And you hear yes, you can 5,000 times. 150,000 times no, you can't to 5,000 times yes, you can. Ever since you were a little kid, you were brought up, you were geared to fail. You were geared to just be mediocre, to be average, just to get by and sell. Why? It's simple. Whoever raised you is on the same level. Right? They're on the same level of thinking. They have those certain beliefs that you're stupid in as well. They can't pick up on everything that's around them that they need to pick up on because they don't have the differences that their brain needs to harmonize with that can't pick out. So someone who raised you, it's a law to live. Right? Same with this industry. Whoever enrolled you, two exceptions, whoever enrolled you, you can't go past your leader. Right? You can't. The leader set at a 5 leadership out of 1 to 10. This 5 leadership is not going to attract a 9 leader. Right? It's not. They're going to attract 5s and below. Same thing. The person who raised you, the way you brought up, your school teacher, this, that, and the other, your level of thinking was to get by, to sell, was to make it. I can promise you, we weren't meant to sell. We weren't meant to be average. Right? We weren't meant to just be mediocre. So, ever since we were little kids, we've been brought up to fail. So you start saying those things to yourself. Like it says, change your filter, change your filter, change your filter. What do I need to take home with me? Anytime, I had to use this not too long ago with a family incident. Anytime you have a lot of negativity going on, maybe you're at a family gathering and your aunt or your grandma will not just stop talking about all this drama and soap operas. Like, and if you watch soap operas, I'm sorry, but all this drama, and she's telling you. Or my grandma's really, and I love my grandma, she's a saint, she's the nicest woman in the world. But she watches so much news. And I tell her, I'm like, Grandma, you know what CNN stands for? Constant negative news. CNN, constant negative news. There's nothing ever positive on the news, right? Like, you ever watch it, there's nothing positive on the news anymore. And it's anytime I run into people talking like that, or it's negativity, drama, I just look at them with the cheesiest smile and I say, wow, that's interesting. Then change subject. You will mess them up so bad. You will mess them up so bad, they will have no clue what just happened. Like, they'll be laying in bed at night thinking, why was he so excited about that? Why was he so interested? And you just say, wow, that's so interesting. And you change subject. Like, when I did it with one of my family members, it messed them up. 5 days later, I got a message, but I'm really confused why you thought that was really interesting. And it was just, it's so funny. Like, because if you don't do that, it'll go on and on and on and on. And if that's all you hear, right? If that's all you hear, that's what you're going to become. So, when you're constantly surrounded by that, it's a great sentence. I have a lot of fun with it because it messes the other person up so bad. So just, wow, that's amazing, or wow, that's interesting, change the subject. Wrapping up here, there's 2 types of beliefs, empowering and dispowering. Empowering and dispowering. 2 types, empowering, disempowering. There is no middle. No middle ground. You either have empowering beliefs or you have disempowering beliefs. Remember, your mind is like a tree that's not grown, it's dying. Your mind is like a tree that's not grown, it's dying. You know, so either you're moving forward, either you're moving closer to what you have wrote down on that list, or you're moving further away. You either are having empowering beliefs that's getting you closer to what you really want, or you're having disempowering beliefs that's retracting you and pulling you in the opposite direction. Which way are you going? Which way are you going now? You know, so now the thing that holds most of us captive, might be one person in the room, maybe, but it doesn't. The thing that holds every single one of us captive is fear. Fear. And everyone has a different image of fear. Everyone has a different reason on why they're afraid. Some of you are afraid because you don't think you'll be successful. Yes. Some of you are afraid that you will be successful and you don't know what to do with the responsibility. Some of you will be afraid that you'll be really successful and you have to jump up here and do a training one day. Right? I can promise you, when I started this, you could not have written a $1 million check talking about a room. You could have wrote it, but I wouldn't know anything with it. I would have never gotten in the room to talk. Never. Right? So, fear holds us all captive. It's something we all share. Every single one of us. You know, fear that it may work, fear that it might not work. And what I need you guys to understand is that there's two kinds of fear. Two kinds of fear. This is where you got to get real with yourself. There's real fear and fake fear. Real fear and fake fear. What's real fear? Real fear is a bear chasing you down in the woods, and you have every reason and right to be scared of death. Because you might not live in that situation. Like, that's legitimate fear. That is legitimate fear. And there's an awesome video that Carolyn posted not too long ago of a guy in a tree stand, and a bear literally climbs up the tree, a cub, right next to the guy. He's not even breathing. He's like, and he turns, he's like, oh my God. It's like whispering. He had every single right to be afraid. Because there was a bear that climbed 20 feet up a tree to look at him. Right? That's legitimate fear. I'll tell you what fake fear is. Fake fear is looking down at a list of 25 people of your friends and family, and you're afraid to call them to share a 90-day health challenge. That's fake fear. You're afraid to call 25 people that you know to share a 90-day challenge because you're afraid of what they're going to think of you. Because you're afraid of what they're going to say. Right? Who cares what they say? Who cares? Who cares if Uncle Charlie says, oh, you're crazy doing one of those things. Uncle Charlie's $100,000 in debt. Who cares? Right? It doesn't matter what they say. Who cares if they say it won't work? Some will, some won't. So what? On the next one. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Right? I promise you, everybody comes back around. Everybody. A best friend. Best friend's in elementary. First person I called. I wasn't afraid. He's my best friend. I didn't follow the system. I said, man, I found what we're going to do. We're going to make a lot of money. We're going to make 6 figures. We're going to drive BMWs, and we're going to be rich. And that's what I said. And the first thing he did was Google my house. That's what any network marketing, you Google it. First word pops up is a company name scam. He reads the first article, wrote by a promoter in a different company. It's a way of their marketing. It's to bash another product to refer someone to their product. He posted it on Facebook and said, no one do what Scotty's doing. My best friend. How simple would it have been? My best friend since I grew up there said no and told every single person on Facebook not to do it. What I do? So what next? So what next? I could have very easily turned back around, saying he's right. I was in way over my head. I can't succeed. I can't do this. It's one of those things. But instead, I moved on. So what next? And I'll be damned if it wasn't until 11 months later, not the BMW that did it, that I drove to his apartment and showed him in the parking lot. It wasn't the BMW that did it. It wasn't me firing my boss. It was a check of $25,000 with my name on it. Did he finally send me a message and say, "You're right, I'm sorry"? I said, "Alex, it's profitable. I'm 2 months behind on rent. Will you help me get started? I think I can do this." And I said, "Absolutely not." Right? Absolutely not. If he would have believed in me, his best friend trusted me, he'd be a six-figure income earner. I said he's not. So what I'm saying is my best friend, the person closest to me, said, "No, don't do it. It's a scam. Hold on." And I said, "So what? Next. Call the next person on the list." Also stresses to call your people right away. Don't say what I said, because that's probably why I got that response. If I said it right, he might still be here. So don't be afraid to call a list of 25 people and share it. Help challenge. Take fear, you guys. Are you still going to be alive at the end of that conversation? Are you still going to be alive? Some of you, I mean, in a severe anxiety situation, you might pass out. You're going to wake back up. You're going to wake back up. And I don't know if any promoters ever passed out making their first call. Not saying there's not a first, but if it is, I'm going to take you everywhere so you can share your story. The bear thing, you might not live. That's legitimate fear. Bear chasing you down, you might not live. Pick up the phone and call 25 people that you know to share a 90-day health challenge. That's fake fear, you guys. It's fake fear. Absolute fake. And I need you guys to understand that you are preventing, I'm going to get real with you, you're preventing yourself from having the life of your dreams, the life on that paper, because you're too afraid to pick up the phone and call to share an annual challenge. Wow. Preventing yourself, you're holding yourself captive from the life of your dreams, everywhere you want to go, people you want to have, things you want to have. Because of fear. Because of fake fear. That's it. I'm just call some. I'll just get some energy and call some people. You're still going to be alive. You're still going to be breathing. Right? I promise you. I'm really ADD, so I'm going to completely switch gears. And how many of you have been to the zoo? That is completely ADD. I'm switching gears. Completely. You ever been to the zoo? Right? Been to the zoo? My favorite animal? Spider-Man. If you don't know what Spider-Man is, you can Google it, because it's awesome. Okay, Spider-Man. He's like, bing, 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 bing. He's so energetic. He's just a ball of energy. He's like, if you took a bouncy ball in an enclosed room and you threw it as hard as you could, that's a spider monkey. You know, it's going everywhere. It's shooting around, bouncing off the walls, so energetic, and it never stops. And it hit me one day. How in the world did it catch those things? Right? Something so energetic, bouncing from here to here, swinging from tree to tree, wherever spider monkey deal is, whatever. How do they catch those things? How do they get that captive? Right? Blew my mind. So guess what? Look it up, research it. Wouldn't you know it? I found out that the way they catch these things are spider monkeys love peanuts. Peanuts. Love them. Absolutely love peanuts. And what they do is they put a peanut, here, I'll get a chair. I'll show you. What they do is they put a peanut inside of a trap. Peanut's sitting inside of a trap. The monkey can reach his hand in, grab the peanut, but can't get his hand out while holding the peanut. Can't get his hand out. He can reach his hand in, grab the peanut, but cannot fit his fist out. Wouldn't you know it? 100%, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, the spider monkey never lets go. Never lets go. It chooses, all it's got to do is let go. It chooses to be captive, to hold on that peanut instead of free. Every single time. You might think I'm completely crazy, so how's this related? How's this relate? Most people, no matter what you tell them, no matter how you help them, no matter what kind of training they got, they'll never let go of their peanut beliefs. They won't. They'll never let go of their peanut beliefs. Those peanut beliefs, I can't do this. It doesn't work for people like me. It isn't possible. My friends were right. You're just so lucky. Money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. I'll never make it to regional director. Even if I did, how am I gonna get a car? Peanut beliefs, peanut beliefs, peanut beliefs, peanut beliefs, peanut beliefs. Until you let go of those peanut beliefs, you're continually going to be captive, and you will never achieve the thing you wrote down. Never. Until you let go of peanut beliefs. Until you learn to let go of those, you will never get that. You must replace those peanut beliefs. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take you some time. But I promise, it's the filter, it's the change that'll improve every single aspect of your life. Not just the business. Every single aspect. So, I want everything I want you to have in those things on paper. I do. In fact, I probably want it more for you than some of you in this room want up here, so. Probably. But you've got to let go of those peanut beliefs. You have to let go of those peanut beliefs. You will never achieve that. You will never help people you want to help. You will never help those parents and children. Never. Until you let go of those peanut beliefs. On that paper is a life worth living. On that paper is a life worth living that you deserve. You absolutely deserve it. Are you guys committed to raise your level of thinking and changing your filter and let go of your peanut beliefs? Are you committed to do that?
Yes.
Are you committed to let go of your peanut beliefs and start living a life that you deserve?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. This is the last thing, and we're going to close. I'll go ahead, music. I want all of you to do me a huge favor, put everything down. Everything down. Everybody put this thing. Everything down. So close your eyes and lower your head. I want you to close your eyes. Everyone, if you close your eyes, lower your head. You just woke up in your dream home. You're still laying in bed as you look over. Who do you see? Who do you see? Is it that person that you love more than anything in this whole world? You can feel their breath on your arm. You can feel the sun shining in the window. You throw your legs over the bed and you walk to the window. You scan to the left. You scan all the way to the right. It's so breathtaking. And right in this moment, you feel more gratitude than you've ever felt in your entire life. You walk over to your closet, pick out your favorite outfit. You walk downstairs, and each step down your stairwell are pictures. Pictures of memories that you have created. Memories that you created for yourself, your friends, your family. You keep walking down the stairs and you go into the garage. Your hand slides over and flips that switch. What is it that you see out there? Those vehicles, all your toys. You decide which car you want to drive today. You hop in one. You're driving down a beautiful stretch of road. Living the best days of your entire life. You're now at the back entrance of a LaSalle's event. And inside that stadium, there are 20,000 people screaming, excited, and they're all there for you. They are all there to hear your story. It's time. Someone pulls you in. You hear the screams, you hear the cheers, you feel it. That crazy feeling up your spine.
all the way up the back of your neck. You feel that. They are there to listen to your story, the real story that you had to go through to get there. Your team is there staring at you, they're crying for you. You look at them and you smile because you love them so much. Then you think of the ones that you lost along the way. The ones that are looking down on you. And you know that they are so proud of you right now. Your slideshow is playing in the background. Everyone there is inspired by you. It is one of the most amazing moments of your entire life. That moment, everyone is standing on their chairs, cheering for you. You think about that day. You think about that day that you made the decision to change your life forever. You knew without a doubt that you had found your calling, that you had been praying for something to happen, and that day fell in your lap. But you know that you have to wake up and you have to go to action. That prayer is only half of it. You went to action and you made that decision. Ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes. Do me a favor. I want you to stand right now. How many of you are going to create that life of your dreams? How many of you are going to take what you just felt and go out there and put it into action? Ladies and gentlemen, all of you are 5-star ambassadors. I love every single one of you. Let's go out there. Let's make our dreams come true. Every single one of you have a life of deserving of that. Let's go make it happen. Thank you guys so much.